If you are watching this video, then that must mean you are looking for a comprehensive guide on how you could defeat Palkia in raid battles, as well as potentially getting its shiny form. Now, Palkia is not an easy boss by any means, but it can easily be defeated as long as you bring the right counters. But because of its unique typing of dragon and water type, it's going to require very specific counters, and I'm going to be going over all of that in today's video. Let's roll the intro and get right into it. And how's it going, everyone? It's me, it's Count here with a brand new Pokemon Go raid guide video. Today I'm going to be covering Palkia. Of course, at the time that I'm recording this video, its shiny form was going to be released, so by the time you watch this video, you may potentially be able to get its shiny form. Now, of course, Palkia is going to be one of the top tier Pokemon that you could get in raid battles, and that is of course because it does have a unique typing, which is water and dragon type. This means it's going to be useful in certain situations, like within the Master League. It's not necessarily going to be the absolute best when it comes to raid DPS, but it's still going to be very useful if you are lacking those top tier raid DPS Pokemon. Speaking of which, let's go over those counters right now. Because Palkia has that unique type combination of dragon and water type, it's only going to be weak against two specific types, and that is going to be dragon types and fairy types. Even though it has that water typing, you will want to avoid using grass types, and that is of course because it also has a dragon typing, which is going to be resistant to those grass type attacks. And the same can be said for ice types as well. Even though dragon types are weak against ice types, because of its water typing, it will be able to resist those ice type moves. So in essence, your dragon types are going to be your best bet. Here are the best counters that you could bring against Palkia. First and foremost, there is the Dragon type King, and that is of course Rayquaza, which is going to be the best glass cannon up against Palkia. And of course, if you're looking to defeat this boss with the least number of trainers as possible, as I've always said in these raid guide videos, glass cannons are going to be the most valuable. But of course, there is one legendary Pokemon that has continuously challenged Rayquaza for the throne, and that is of course Zekrom. Now, Zekrom is a dragon and electric type Pokemon, which kind of gives it a unique advantage against Palkia. It is going to resist some of those big water type moves that Palkia could bring, and of course Zekrom does dish out a lot of damage with its dragon type moves. So if you are going to use Zekrom, make sure you are going with one with Dragon Breath and Outrage. That is going to be the most useful against Palkia. And the same goes for a lot of other dragon types that you could use. If you are lacking in Rayquazas and Zekroms, also consider going with Salamence and Haxorus. These are very powerful dragon type Pokemon that you could bring, especially if you are lacking those legendaries. Speaking of which, let's cover the budget Pokemon that you could bring up against Palkia. Of course, if you're lacking in all of these Pokemon because of their rarity as well as their legendary status, then you could opt to bring a whole bunch of Dragonite. At this point, you should have a whole bunch of Dragonite in your arsenal. And if you don't, then you should opt to go for some Team Go Rocket battles so that you could pick up that Shadow Dragonite, and that is definitely going to be powerful up against Palkia. Keep in mind that if Palkia is going with the charge move Hydro Pump, Aqua Tail, or Fire Blast, all of those moves will be resisted by your dragon types. So do keep that in mind. Your dragon types are going to be king up against Palkia. But of course, it could potentially have the charge move Draco Meteor, which irregardless if you dodge it or not, it could still potentially one-shot your dragons. In that case, you could opt to use fairy type Pokemon. And of course, fairy types is the only other typing that has an advantage against Palkia. You could opt to use Pokemon like Gardevoir and Togekiss. Those are going to be very powerful Pokemon up against Palkia. You could also use Xerneas as well, but because it doesn't dish out enough damage, I highly suggest you go with Gardevoir instead. The nice thing is that Gardevoir is also a nice budget Pokemon for you to use. If you have a whole bunch of Gardevoir with Charm and Dazzling Gleam, that is going to dish out a lot of damage against Palkia. If you are seeing a whole bunch of your Gardevoir in the recommended tab when you jump into a Palkia raid, then it's likely that it's running with Draco Meteor. In that case, I would suggest having a backup team of a full team of Gardevoir. That is going to be very useful against this boss. Now, because Palkia is a dragon and water type, it's going to be weather boosted by 2 specific weathers, and that is of course rainy weather and windy weather. But if you are looking for a weather boost advantage for yourself, then yes, you will need windy weather because that's what's going to boost up your dragon types. But if you're opting to use fairy types, then make sure you go out in cloudy weather because that is going to boost up your fairy types and will give you a damage boost. Palkia can be comfortably taken down with 4 trainers, so if you and 3 other trainers are at least level 40 with the right counters, you should have no problems defeating this boss. But if you're looking to challenge yourself, then yes, you can actually duo this Pokemon, but it will require every single advantage that you can give yourself. That includes friendship bonuses, best buddy bonuses, level 50 Pokemon, etc. Palkia's 100% IVCP is going to be 2280, and if it's weather boosted, it'll be 2850. And then of course, in terms of its move pool, it has fast moves of Dragon Tail and Dragon Breath, and it has the charge moves Hydro Pump, Aqua Tail, Fire Blast, and Draco Meteor. If you want a really good Palkia for yourself, then obviously you will want one that is going to have Dragon Breath and Hydro Pump. These are going to be your biggest hitting moves with Palkia, especially if you're going up against a boss that is weak against water types, or if you want that nice type coverage Pokemon in the Master League. But of course, it still gets outclassed by a lot of other Pokemon in the Master League, but it is still going to be a very powerful Pokemon that you can have. In terms of raid DPS, it can be a nice backup Pokemon if you are lacking in Rayquazas and other dragon types like Zekrom, Salamence, and Haxorus. If you have a whole bunch of Palkia that are powered up with Dragon Tail and Draco Meteor, you could still potentially be useful in raids, but because there are so many dragon types that are going to outclass Palkia, I highly do not suggest you dedicate your Stardust and candies into this Pokemon. But its shiny form is getting released at the time that I'm recording this video, so if you are a shiny hunter, then this is definitely one of those shinies that is going to appeal to you. If you want to pick up this shiny, then make sure you are rating it as much as you can. It should have the baseline raid shiny rate of 1 out of 50, so if you do about 50 raids, there's a high chance you will be able to get at least 1 shiny Palkia. But if you want to increase your chances at getting this shiny, then make sure you're keeping up with your Go Battle League rewards as well. If you are at least ranked 20 in the Go Battle League, then you should start seeing Palkia in your rewards, and it's a great way for you to pick up high IVs of its shiny form. So yeah, there you have it everyone. This is my comprehensive guide on how you can take down Palkia. I really hope you enjoyed it and found it to be helpful. If you did, make sure you say so in the comment section below and share this with your friends as well. And yeah, if you enjoyed this video, don't forget to hit that like button, subscribe if it's your first time here, and I want to give a quick shout out to GOOZEE Pins. They made the official Count Jinsula pin. Definitely go and check it out. It's definitely one of the coolest swags that I have. And yeah, hope you enjoyed it guys. I'm Count Jinsula. Be safe, have fun, and I'll catch you all later.